So a lot of people ask me, you all know what the best part of owning an ice cream place is, right? What's the best part? Obviously. A lot of money, a lot of profit, notoriety, you're your own boss, all that stuff. What do you think the worst thing is about owning an ice cream store?
Overhead. Health department.
The health department?
You gain weight?
Texas.
What happened?
It's so, and I've had these stores for quite a long time. The phone rings and you answer it and it's, I can't come in today. Oh, my car broke down. Oh, my kids got the flu. That's the worst part. The employee excuses. Okay, so first we'll make, who's from the Northeast here? Oh, not too bad. In the Northeast, when we were growing up, there was ice cream, of course. There was no gelato. There was Italian ices and ice cream. No cream ice, no gelato. And then something was a little elevated in that. It was called Custard. When you found the place that sold custard, it was heaven. It was something entirely different. And the difference, we're going to make custard this morning. We'll make just a vanilla custard. Number one flavor in the world is? Vanilla. So we'll make vanilla custard. If you open a store, or let's cut that. When you open your store, put this on the menu. Instead of vanilla, you'll see, everybody has vanilla. And if you walk into 15 ice cream stores and you taste the vanilla in 15 different ice cream stores, they're all different. And if you go to the supermarket and you look at Ben & Jerry's and Haagen-Dazs and Edie's and all the ice creams, and if you take the vanilla and bring it home, they're all different. When you make a vanilla that's world class, knowing it's the number one flavor in the world, then you got something. So do this, make a vanilla custard. You don't have to call it custard. As a matter of fact, I didn't. I called this French vanilla. French vanilla. Ooh. The difference between regular vanilla or any ice cream and the custard, where you elevate it to custard, is egg yolks. When I started in the business, I wanted to make a custard. Am I talking too much?
No, go ahead.
Okay. So I had to make the egg yolk base myself, and that meant cracking all the eggs, and then you've got to heat them up to pasteurize them. And I did this in huge pots on the stove, heated them, simmer for hours, and then I would pour it into buckets and let it sit overnight till it got to normal temperature, and then the next day I would bring it to the store and make vanilla custard. Now you don't have to do that anymore. There's a genius product out there. What's his name? Who used to be here?
Oranger. Rod Oranger.
Rod. He came up with a terrific product. And the name is a little confusing, but essentially this is a 1-gallon can of egg yolks. The number one ingredient, egg yolk, pasteurized. And he calls it Bavarian base. And you can get it through iRice. There's nothing else like it. This is a game changer. It's not, I don't worry about cost. You shouldn't either, because you don't have to. So this is what we're going to use. Opening it is the challenge. Tuesday, Thursday.
Sorry. That's all we have.
The conditions you have to work under. It's not employees, it's this stuff. You want to do a little dance while I do this? or
Oh, I'd
something?
help you do it, but it's too much fun watching you do it. You're
At,
getting
le-
there.
at least the opener is working this time.
Yes.
Okay. So it's, there we go. And that's what it looks like. Can you all see that? It's a innocuous brown, because basically it's egg yolks. All right, so this formula, this recipe is very simple. It's 2 ingredients. It's the ice cream mix, which is, what do you prefer to call it? Ice
blend.
cream mix.
A blend.
A blend. It's a blend. And the iRice Bavarian base. Okay. And then we'll add a few things to soup it up a little bit, to rev it up a little bit. So, everybody okay with this? Anybody allergic to eggs? All right. The machine has been sterilized, sanitized this morning, and it's all ready to go. This is a 24-quart emery. This is what you'll all have eventually. This is the machine. We'll all start with this one usually, the 6-quart, and then when we realize that our business is doing so well that we're making ice cream every day for 4 to 5 hours, then we realize, let's get this one. And it's also a good thing because the money that you'll make from that machine will add up in the bank, and when you go to buy this, you have the money for it. And don't think you have to keep that as a backup. There's no such thing. And forgive me for this shameless plug, but I'm talking from experience. Emeries don't need a backup. They don't break. They don't falter. If there's ever a problem, it's operator error. We won't get into that. Okay, so we're ready to deftly pour this into the machine, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to scale down a little because I don't like having to pour this into that. So we'll pour this into that. Would you hold that?
Is the mix pre-sweetened?
Okay.
You'll have to say that again.
Is the mix pre-sweetened?
Pre-sweetened?
Is there sugar in the mix or is it just dairy?
Not significant.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so we'll pour, this is 3 quarts. And this is 4 quarts, which equals
7 quarts.
sharp crowd.
So the Bavarian flavor, that doesn't make like custard, like coconut custard. It makes it like the Johnny Rockets, like vanilla ice cream custard.
I've never eaten there.
The only way you're going to get coconut is to put coconut into it.
Well, I mean, like, the flakes, like how it has custard and it just has coconut flakes on it. Or
Yeah.
better yet, coconut cream, no, I'm sorry, the cream, Boston cream donut. It's not like they put custard in that. It's not that kind of custard, right?
Anytime, it's actually a federal term. For something to be custard, it has to have a certain percentage of egg yolks in it. I think it's something like 1.3 by volume, 1.3% by volume, but
Okay.
it adds, I like the term French ice cream,
French vanilla,
which is what it always was called, and it adds a creaminess to the ice cream. The question about the sugar, your ingredient list in order of what's in there is milk, cream, sugar, skim milk, and that's all you need. There'll be some natural stabilizers and emulsifiers, a gum, and a seaweed will often be in there.
Okay, we'll start it up. Usually when I make ice cream, or all the time. I put the base in first, the mix, the ice cream mix, then I turn it on, then I add whatever we're adding. So we'll do this, we'll put it on, it says, I want to, 1, make ice cream, 2, get help. Let's go with option 1. Make ice cream, homemade ice cream. And we'll start it up. This will go to 234 RPMs, revolutions per minute. So the blades are spinning counterclockwise inside at 234 revolutions a minute. You can't even do your finger that much. Is this working? Okay, we'll add the Bavarian base.
How much of that were you adding? How much Bavarian base did you add?
I added 1.5 quarts. Now we're going to do what you should always do. And what's that?
Taste it.
Taste it, of course. Because many times your recipes will have 4, 5, 6 things. And even though they're right in front of you, you may forget. So you want to taste it and see what it tastes like. We'll also add a little vanilla. We have 8 quarts, so we'll add how many ounces?
8 ounces.
8 ounces, right. And now we'll taste it. And we do have something else to put in to kick it up to the next level. Whew, that's good. Years ago, in my first store, we sold ice cream, and then I wanted something that would enable me to make money when people came in and said they can't have ice cream. They're diabetic, they're anti-this, whatever. So I put a coffee bar in for cappuccino and espresso. And it's a good idea because I made the same amount of money on every cappuccino as I did on every ice cream. However, what happened was I found out that people were getting into flavored cappuccinos and flavored coffees. So I did a little research and I found a company called Torani, Torani, and they make all the flavors for coffees. All the different cappuccino flavors, espresso if you want to do that, cafe americano, cubano, they make flavors for all of them. So I had them at my coffee bar. And then one day, as things happen, I was making ice cream and I thought, ooh, how about hazelnut, which I had on the coffee bar. So I walked over, took a bottle of the hazelnut, a bottle of Torani hazelnut, and I poured it into the machine with the base, the mix. And it was extraordinary. So then I became a big fan of Torani. They make over 150 different flavors, essentially for coffee, but they work fantastic in ice cream. So if you want, just go online and look at the menu of Torani flavors. Pretty good. Oh, so that brings me to today's story. Today's story is, to kick it up a notch, we have some Torani vanilla. Now they also make French vanilla, but I'm a big fan of this one. So we'll see if we can maybe pump it up a bit just by adding some of this. Now we'll taste it.
Is it 10% mix today or 12%?
10.
Okay.
I've always used 10% mix. And we can talk about it in the question and answer period, why 10% is preferred. We're there. So now we'll put it on the refrigeration, which is the button over here. You'll hear the compressor go on, and listen for it, because when you shut the machine, you want to hear the compressor go off also. So listen up. Kind of easy to hear that. Okay, so now we're on our way to vanilla custard or French vanilla ice cream.
Forgot the water.
Forgot the what?
The water. Talk about the water.
The water?
Yeah,
What about the water?
it's okay.
Oh, okay. Ooh, I want to tell you, I get no respect, you know? This is a water-cooled machine, which means there are two hoses that are in the back. One is water coming into the machine, just like your car radiator, and the other is water going out of the machine, unlike your car. This is a sealed unit. What am I talking about? So the water coming in is coming from the wall over there into a hose going into the machine. It cools the motor, right? It cools the motor.
Yeah, cools the compressor.
And then right here is the water coming out. Same amount. And you can reclaim that water if you want, but in Florida, we don't have to. Water's cheap. California, they do reclaim water a lot, right? Now, I just asked Christy, I took a look. We can add anything we want to this. It's vanilla custard or French vanilla ice cream. I looked to see if we had some white chocolate chips. That would go pretty good. We don't have any. You could add regular chocolate chips. That would be pretty good too, right? We don't have any.
I ate them all.
But I did notice in the freezer we have a whole bunch of Oreo cookies. Could you add that? Of course you could. But let's go with the natural way. Taste it for what it is. When you open your place, you can let your imagination go wild and add anything you want to this. Imagine if you took a couple of these jars of cherries and threw them in. Would you have the world's best cherry vanilla ice cream? So just think of this as a starting point, because one of the great things about opening an ice cream store or Italian ices, the money, you don't have to worry about it. That'll follow you. But I think maybe the second greatest thing is the adventure of creation. You'll go nuts every time you see something or think of something or spot something in another store. Wow, I can do this. Or I can take cherries and add it to Jeff's custard and make whatever. That's the great part. And you'll do what everybody does. You'll have a pad and a pen by your nightstand, because you'll invariably wake up in the middle of the night with a great idea for a flavor. And that's what, just write it down. In the morning, you may look at it and say, what? But it's okay. For the most part, you'll do it good. So this is going to run for about 10 minutes, because there's a, and it's already getting a little thick. Why not try it?
I think I will. Oh my gosh.
Jeff, did you notice during the
It's
break,
amazing.
this is just a technical thing, because I know everybody sees everything. Did you notice that the machine is giving a little shake to it?
Yeah.
It's because I don't have the wheels lined up. They should be front to back
Yes,
like this.
yes.
Because it's basically a giant washing machine.
Steve
It's
taught
going
me
like
this. I called Emery about a week after
Emery
I got.
Thompson.
What?
Emery Thompson.
Excuse me.
Somebody's using our name, and they call themselves Emery in another name.
Okay. I called Steve about a week after I got my machine, because it was doing this. And of course, it's in the book, isn't it? The manual.
Oh, yes.
But who reads that? You get your machine, well, let's make ice cream. But the wheels should be aligned, and they have locks on them. The ones in Brooklyn have locks and bagels on them. Anyway, so if you align them, it won't shake. Sometimes it shakes much more than this.
So during the break, what I'll do is I'll pull the machine out, roll it back, and now they'll all be running front to back.
I wouldn't bother.
I know, but everyone notices everything.
Okay, any questions about this? Can you think of a flavor that you could make out of this? Hey, where'd my bottle? Huh?
Look at it, smell it.
It's a bottle of Tyranny vanilla.
Some people don't know what that is.
What would you add to this to make it unique?
You can put anything in there, M&M's, whatever you want.
Yeah, I don't think so.
M&M's?
Oh, M&M's, sure. I wouldn't add ham.
Shaved chocolate.
What?
Honeycombs.
Honeycombs? What are honeycombs?
Cereal.
Cereal?
What?
I have a flavor in the store, honey vanilla. Very good. All right. Now, you saw what it was when we put it in, and now, see it's thickening up. Another minute or so, and we're ready to roll. Don't drink from that bottle.
A normal batch time for vanilla is going to be about 8 minutes. This will be longer. If you were doing Italian ice, say a lemon ice, it would be 18 minutes. The difference between the two is Italian ice is very high in sugar. So the more sugar in the product, the longer the freezing time. So Jeff added the egg yolks. The second ingredient in the egg yolks is sugar. So the sugar content went up. The big ingredient in the Tyranny syrup is sugar. So the sugar content went up even more. So by taking an 8-minute batch of vanilla and then adding those two ingredients, you're adding more freezing time. So it's just something that you learn. And when you're making ice cream, you'll take our basic formulas. We have over 600 YouTube videos. Many of them are flavors. And it's a 20-minute video that shows you how to make something like, say, Oreo mint chip. And you take that formula, you run it 2 or 3 times, and you'll make your own personal changes to it. And then you write it down. And you put it on a file card, and you say, that's my formula, so that if you're off with the flu or off for a weekend, you can hand your card to someone else and say, make this ice cream, and it'll be just like yours. So we won't be spending time testing like Jeff was doing, and a little of this and a little of that. It'll be written down, and you don't change the formula unless the owner says, I want to make this change to it. So we want consistency in the ice cream business. If I only come see you once a year up in Cape Cod, and I remember how great your mint chip is, I want it to taste just like that this summer when I go. So consistency is extremely important in our business.
Is that the lowest RPM?
No, this is the highest. I invented 25 years ago something called the infinite overrun control, which allows me to put in any speed and air content I want, because the two are tied together, without losing the pulling power of the motor. Other people have copied it, but they haven't been successful. It was my invention, and it means the difference between having to buy 2 machines or having one Emery Thompson that can do absolutely everything.
All right, so now I'm going to shut the compressor, and I want you to listen, because you should listen. She got it. You should listen and make sure it's off. So listen to this.
Takes anywhere from 15 to 20
Okay.
seconds.
All right, and here we go. It just looks decadent, doesn't it?
Looks good.